All right, to watch this video for Thursday, February 28th. Speaking of Thursday, real quick reminder, look down below, click the link to get registered. We're not selling anything, we're just teaching you our method on how we buy pullbacks. It is taken straight out of a section of our trading course. So if you've taken our trading course, honestly, you don't need to show up. There will be nothing that you haven't seen. If you haven't taken our course, it's just free stuff. We're just showing you one little piece of our puzzle, and that is trading pullbacks. All right. I don't think it's anything you've seen before because I pretty much came up with this entire method myself by looking at a million charts and so on. So show up if you can. It'll be on our free webinar page recorded afterwards, probably the next day, but you won't have a chance to ask questions if you're watching a recorded version. We are going to have a Q&A about the pullbacks scenario or anything else trading related that you may want to ask too. So click down below and get registered, and we'd love to see you there. Showing you the SPY, but before I do that real quick, I'm going to give hats off to Wayne. He called QTT over this flag, whole number inflection point. Have you seen that webinar? Free webinar on whole number inflection points. Called QTT, had this nice volume spike. It got it on our radar. Then it flagged right below the whole number 13. Calls it through 13. It goes up to 1350. By the way, that's my favorite chart going into tomorrow, and I'll show you that when I get into the video. And also give props to Wayne for calling TLRA. Really tight flag. Seller on the tape right at 525. He said through that seller this could work. We also had a catalyst above, right? The previous day's high, and you can see the volume and the move it made yesterday. That's what we want to see. We want to focus on stocks that are in play and kind of flagging maybe below the previous day's high. The flag break, it did take a while, but you were never underwater, or maybe underwater a penny or two. But with the stop down here about a dime below, never got touched. And from 525, went to almost 6. So a couple great calls by Wayne, but overall today was painfully slow. Very dead out there. There's a 5-minute chart of the SPY. So gaps down, pops, rolls over, and then spends the rest of the day grinding back up to about where it opened. The action was, I said I tweeted today I had seen better trading action on Christmas Day. So that's where we are, but still a nice green day. And here's what we'll be watching for tomorrow. KHC. I actually threw this one on watch. Another tweet I put out today. I said, they say buy when there's ketchup in the streets, right? Well, there's definitely ketchup in the streets. It's actually blood in the streets, but you get the point. KHC is Kraft Heinz, and it is getting just decimated with 48, and it's relentless selling since the gap down. I have no idea if it's going to bounce tomorrow or not, but if we get a low risk setup, I'll give it a shot. You might get it to a scenario where sellers get exhausted and they start to cover, and then buyers that are bottom feeding, looking for the bottom on this thing, might start piling in. So you could get like a little mini squeeze, intraday squeeze pop, something like that. But certainly an ugly chart, but with a big name like Kraft, it's certainly worth watching. Kraft Heinz, it's certainly worth watching for a bounce. NIO has been really strong. Gapped up today, sold off hard, but closed fairly strong. Let's go to 15-minute candles and look at it real quick. So there's the gap up day and the really big move. And you're really just kind of flagging, right? Just kind of flagging for a couple days. Got to keep this one on my radar. Massive volume lately. Solo, if NIO gets going, Solo is kind of an inside day today. But the whole electric car space is I don't want to, I started to say on fire, but no. But I mean, it's definitely got traders' attention. So I want to watch, especially if one of these gets going, I'm going to watch the other ones as well. NIO, Solo. Overstock got a big move today. It doesn't look like that much, but look at that volume and look at the intraday. Some of you who have taken our course will notice where this turned on the very first really clean pullback. You'll certainly notice something there. And unfortunately, I had me head up my arse a little bit today. I wasn't even looking to get an overstock. I think right about here, I was believing, well, this thing isn't going to hold up. And then it did that, and then it kept going, right? And the daily chart didn't look that great. So I just never looked for a pullback, but it gave a great setup. Anyway, with this kind of volume and that kind of intraday move, even though it rolled over a little bit at the end, it's got to go on our radar. GSM kind of has a 2-day high. Now today it slightly broke. Yesterday's high was 299, and today it went to 301. But if I switch to 15-minute candles, you see the big pop, the pullback, another big pop today. kind of flagging. I may try this if it gets through 3 with some volume tomorrow, and we'll see, right? I'm not in love with it. XNet, I put this on radar a few days ago. I think I even said if I was a swing trader, I'd probably buy it, right before the close this day. I ended up doing nothing with it, and then today it tops out at basically at 5. Nice volume today, really nice move today. So tomorrow's probably not the day to trade it, but it is interesting that it's getting this kind of relative volume and topped out at 5. Sometimes a strong stock just keeps going, so I kind of like it through 5 if it gives a clean setup. And that's not just for tomorrow, but that's just for like any of the next 5 or so trading days. I want to keep this one on my radar. CHK, massive volume, right back up to that 3 area. If we get any kind of push through 3, I'm going to give that a try. QTT, I talked about this one already. Told you I'd show you the chart and why I like it. I was watching this one for a while because of this day, right? On this day, that's a really nice candle. It went from 1175 to 1444. So I was watching it to see if it was going to come back up and maybe continue. And then it did this, and I kind of took my eyes off it. The next thing you know, today we see that volume spike. And I can show you, I mean, you can see that's really nice relative volume all of a sudden. And then it flagged. So that's why Wayne spotted a seller on tape at 13, called it through 13, and made a 50-cent move. Let me go back to the daily. I want to point out a couple things. Back here, it hit 1340. And then about a week before that, it hit 1349. So and then today it hit 1350. I really like this over 1350. You're breaking all this resistance, and we may just run up to that 1444. And if you get above that, squeeze. So I like this chart a lot. Keep a close eye on QTT tomorrow. IGC, I don't know what to say about this one. It's IGC. It went over the counter forever. It was a crazy trader back here. This 2-day run-up, I believe, was because they had said they're coming back to, I don't know if it's the NYSE or I'm not sure, Amex. But anyway, they're coming back to one of the exchanges. They're not over the counter anymore. And so, but it actually held up fairly well after this pop, and then you got a couple days lower, closing near its highs today. Let's look at it on 15-minute candles. I don't know. It's kind of holding up and flagging below this 220. I'm going to keep it on my radar. It's, the whole thing's a weird story to me, but we'll see. IDEX, still kind of in this flag. I'm going to keep my eyes on it. It's had some unusual volume spikes lately. Let's get that off there. I mean, you get right here, big volume. Here, big volume. See these green spikes here, here, and here. So it almost feels like it's coiling and ready to break this flag to the upside. Maybe test that 200-day if it does, so we'll see. And then FENG is my final. Gapped up here, topped out at 510 3 sessions ago. Looked like it was rolling over. Next thing you know, it's curling right back up. So, maybe we have a break of 491, which is today's high, is enough to get you through 5, is enough to get you through 510. It's a decent chart setup. It's also pretty far away from the moving averages, so who knows? But it's worth watching. We're going to add some gappers to this list as well. Don't forget to click the link down below if you want to come to our Buying Pullbacks, How We Buy Pullbacks webinar, free webinar tomorrow night at 7. I'm done babbling. We'll see you all then.